Hey, everybody, welcome back to the PTE Network. My name is Chris, and we're going to do something here tonight that hasn't happened on the PTE Network in a long, long time, back before there was a network. Those that don't know, Mr. Mike Mott and I are huge fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it just so happened that, Mike, this might be the first time since pre-COVID I got to see an MCU movie opening weekend. It actually might be the first time since Endgame.
Wow. That's impressive. I've usually managed to carve out time. Like I'm enough of a geek that I put everything in our family calendar so
Yeah.
Nikki knows it's coming. And a lot of times we'll arrange for date nights around it or something like that and see if we can get babysitter.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't able. I don't do that. I guess it's
Yeah.
just getting a sitter. I guess for us is a little bit hard as well. But
Yeah. No, I
we
get you.
both saw Captain America: Brave New World today. We
Yep.
are recording this Sunday night, the 16th. It'll drop this week, and I'm not going to edit it at all. It's just going to drop in all of its glory on our Patreon feed. So
That's right.
sorry in advance,
War-
but
warts and all.
yes. But Mike, you saw the movie. What did you think?
Um I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fairly mid tier as far as Marvel goes. It's not the worst that they've done. It's not even the worst in Phase 5. But it's it wasn't
It's a
it
low
wasn't
profile.
superlative. It was the weakest of the Captain America movies, I would say. Um, but I still enjoyed it. I'm glad that because I did my best to avoid knowing too much about it going in. Obviously, there were certain things that were hard to avoid, especially when they're doing like behind the scenes shit in before the movie in the theater and they start talking about like Red Hulk and all that kind of stuff. By the way, did you mention, I don't know, spoilers abound, like we're just talking everything. So
He was in the trailer,
he
so
was. Oh no, I'm not saying that he wasn't, but I'm just saying like it just it amused me that so I'm not saying that that's a spoiler. I'm just throwing out the warning. If you want to see the movie and going in as blind as possible, we're going to talk about everything.
that's a good
But
point.
but I didn't know things like that the Celestial Island was going to play in, and so the Eternal is going to say all of which is trying to say is I mentioned that usually I will put something in the calendar, and me and Nikki will try and go see it together. I went to see this by myself. And I'm glad that I did because Nikki has not seen The Incredible Hulk. She has not seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier television series, and she has not seen The Eternals. So she would have had no uh, nothing to go on. So, but anyway, but no, I liked it for the most part. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with the leader. I thought he was a little developed, underdone. But I mean, you always want more Tim Blake Nelson, right? So, um, but I thought it was fine. It was a little, you know, the very end was there was a little bit of a cheesiness factor when he talks Red Hulk down at the end, but I as far as it was concerned, I was entertained. I didn't see any I didn't have any major beef with it. It was just it didn't do a whole lot that I found super interesting, I guess. But
I'll
I
give you
liked
that.
it.
Mike, we didn't start with our traditional way, but how you doing? What are you drinking?
I was actually just thinking that because I'm sitting here holding the beer that I grabbed
I was
specifically.
saying that because I didn't open mine either, and I
I
wanted
know.
to see
Well, we just launched right into it, right? So, well, but in the spirit of one of the kind of things that they talked about in the film, I do not have an adamantium beer, but what I do have is an unobtainium beer. This being from Straight to Ale Brewing right here in Huntsville. So I've had it on the podcast several times before. It's an old ale aged in bourbon barrels. I've had about 3 margaritas early this evening, so choosing a 9%, 10.1% ABV beer is probably a bad call, but it's thematically appropriate. So here we go. What about you, Chris?
I
Beer, then movie.
I grabbed a beer that I've had on the show before. It's the last of a mixed 12 pack that I bought. The last of all of them, actually, from Three Daughters Brewing, which is a 10-minute walk from Tropicana Field, which I maintain, by the way. I maintain. I don't need the video board. The Rays had a chance to do something really cool. I don't need a video board or an announcer and all the music. I would have liked to go to a ball game where there's no music and we get to listen to it the way they did back in the 30s and the 20s.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's out, the stadium's out in the weather anyway. They're going to be playing outdoors in Tampa regardless.
Yep.
Have at least a handful of games back at the Trop. That's all I'm saying. But like, I'm doing well. This is it's a circle hooked hazy IPA from Three Daughters. I actually have not been to the brewery. We met up with Will last time, but we went to Cage Brewing, I think, last time.
Yep.
So $3, I got to get down there. But cheers, my bud, my friend.
Cheers,
I
man.
can't talk tonight. I realize that. That's actually delicious. All right. So I will kind of go along with a lot of what you said. It was not my favorite MCU movie. It's not top tier, but I didn't need it to be top tier. I
Same.
needed it to be entertaining. I needed it to be fun. And I got what I needed. I had qualms with the film. I thought the story itself was fine. The script was terrible.
Yeah, I see where you're coming at.
Moments where just like even Leah came over, she goes, "That's not what Sam would have said." I'm like, "Yeah,
it was very forced dialogue in a lot of places." Yes.
So, but you know what? Like, it introduced new characters that I loved. I know we've met him before, but the new Falcon, having a chance to spread his wings was actually really cool to see. And he's a lovable little character. Like, he's not Luis from Ant-Man, but he's a hell of a fun character to bring in. I'd say that because like the way he talks and the cockiness and the arrogance that only someone from Miami can bring. Well done. And I did get up and walk out of the theater when he had a Miami Hurricane shirt on, but I did come right back in.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I had to go to the bar and get a drink. You understand.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know much about the leader. I don't know much about him as a character.
Same.
But it was another one of the MCU forgettable bad guys. It was one
exactly.
I will not spend any time thinking about him. Like, you look at the top tier bad guys. You look at Thanos. You look at Killmonger. Look at Baron von Zemo. Look at all of the bad guys from No Way Home. Like, iconic, idyllic, wonderful bad guys, thoroughly complex in their own tragic way. Like, this guy had tragedy, but you didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
You didn't see the stakes. You didn't feel the stakes of why he was. Like, yes, this is what happened to him. How did that impact him? Like, there was no time to kind of dwell on his tragedy. And the movie was only an hour and 50 minutes or so. Like, it was under 2 hours. You could have given me a 4-minute scene at some point that told the backstory of what he lost. That would have made the villainous turn that we learned about happen. Missed opportunity, but the action sequences for the most part were spot on. Leah pointed out on a few occasions that the CGI was terrible, including not the last. I thought the last battle scene was cool, but the scene afterwards where they're kind of recovering and they pick Sam up. Leah goes, that background was so bad. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, it's fluttering. I'm like, what the? I didn't catch that. So it didn't rub against me in any way, shape, or form. I dug the movie. It was what I wanted it. It was a fun film.
I went in with honestly middling expectations, and my expectations were met. It's kind of what it was exactly. It was mid-tier MCU, which exactly pretty much would I have loved, like something that was absolutely upper echelon, of course, but I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, I liked, and even the little character cameos. I mean, you kind of knew, okay, Liv Tyler's going to show up at the very end. Like, they were teasing it the whole thing, but it was still nice when it did happen, Bucky showing up with, for that one scene. And actually when you were talking about the script, that was the one thing that I thought was hilarious, because for all of the forced lines, the one that Bucky had, and then, Sam turns right back and he goes, your scriptwriters write that for you. I thought that was pretty funny.
I'm not going to lie. So the Bucky thing, we got to talk about Bucky, because in the same year, Bucky's going to go from being a spoiler alert,
I know.
a congressman elect.
I know.
Which, by the way, how is he a congressman elect when the new president's already taken office?
Special election that happened due to due to a presidential appointment of the congressman in his district.
Okay, stop making sense, damn it. Just
I didn't even think about it that much until just now. I'm just pulling shit out of my ass right now.
It's a really fast special election because this all took place like what within the first 100 days of him being in office. So we're looking April timeframe, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's a quick special election. But hey, props.
And honestly, I don't think they'd even do a special election. I think it would be a government appointing. Anyway,
props to the state of New York for appointing a multiple time felon to the. This actually makes a lot of sense.
I was going to say, let's not go too far down that rabbit hole. But no, that is actually really funny you say that because I gave that like a brief moment of thought in the movie and then I kind of forgot about it until you brought it up. And I did remember thinking like, wait a minute. How is he going to suddenly become a member of the Thunderbolts after this? Like, what?
I liked it. I like Bucky. Bucky's fun.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was still fun and his interplay with Sam was always entertaining. So it was nice to see them back together again. And I almost feel like they had to do that because you feel like you're sort of cheating fans if you don't do that.
You know what got me in this movie? Carl Lumley.
So good.
So he is just the heart and soul of this movie.
So good. Yeah.
So good. And that story with Isaiah is just so well. It's just that's like, to me the highlight of the movie is how well told. There's two highlights of the movie. That the Isaiah story is so well told. They also gave me a new character that I legitimately can't wait to see more of.
You talking about Ruth, the former widow?
Yes,
she was badass.
She's awesome, and like I'm sitting there going the entire time, like, okay, like she's a bad guy. She's obviously a bad guy, and then no, she ends up being like my favorite character in the entire movie.
I actually did the same thing, so that's really funny.
So, all right, so we both enjoyed the film, liked it enough.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's what is it? It's this one, and then I think Thunderbolts is actually the last official Phase 5 movie, and then Fantastic Four starts off Phase 6. Is that right?
I believe so.
So, I mean, Phase 5 was, Phase 5 was pretty weak.
It's the weak point, but it gave us some good, like No Way Home, Guardians 3. Like I guess it's end of trilogies from the phases 1 and 2, or phase 1 through 4.
I couldn't remember if No Way Home was 4 or 5, but yeah, Guardians 3. And you and I, we've talked about this previously, how we both liked the Marvels.
Oh yeah, hold on, because I want to make controversial opinion. I like the Eternals. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed watching the Eternals. It didn't bother me at all.
I didn't hate the Eternals, but again, it was mid to low tier. Like as has been said countless times before, better as a television series. It tried to do too much in too short of a time, but
yes,
but I did. I enjoyed the Eternals, and again, obviously, it was nice to see impacts of what happened in the Eternals play out in the rest of the MCU, which hadn't happened several films since. So,
but we can come to the agreement that the worst of the MCU happened in Phase 5, and that had to be Secret Invasion, right?
Oh God,
yes. What a letdown that was!
God, that was honestly, I really hope they just kind of forget that even exists. I hope they don't try and build on any of it. Like I don't want to pretend Rhodey was ever a freaking I mentioned 3 margaritas. I'm drawing a blank on the fucking. It's not Scroll. I'm like, it's not the Kree. It's the Scroll. Thank you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to pretend that freaking Daenerys Targaryen is out there with the powers of every single Avenger. No, all of that it's just bad. You know, but at the end of the day, you got Samuel L. to space, and then he was there for to participate in the Marvels. That's like the extent of what that was.
At the end of the day, like in a year or 2 years from now, it really doesn't matter because once Doomsday and then Secret Wars hits,
oh yeah,
it's a full reset. Like it's going to be a full reset. We'll have new characters and all that, and more.
And I mean that was the post credit scene for Brave New World, right? It's
The
basically
dumbest
like,
post credit scene they ever made. It
yeah,
was what did we? Are we supposed to sit here and pretend we didn't know other worlds have been out there?
I know it was kind of like, it was a little bit of a letdown, because it's just like, I guess maybe this is a revelation for Sam, but it's not a revelation for the audience.
Not
You know,
it
and
didn't inspire
we
Doctor.
all know the multiverse exists. We saw it in No Way Home. This
Yeah.
is, this is not news. And okay, ooh, it's coming. Yeah, we kind of figured that one out already. The better tease, though, it would have been almost a better tease if they had talked about an undiscovered element in Celestial Island, but left it unnamed until the post credit scene, and all of a sudden, then they drop adamantium. We're like, oh shit, like Wolverine, whoop, like, I don't know.
I would 100% agree with that. I will say this is sad to say, and it's been a very short time coming, but this might hit you as a ton of bricks, but I have to leave Leah, because while we were sitting in that movie theater, she looked over at me after the Fantastic Four trailer ends, and she goes, "That looks so stupid." So we had a good run.
Yep. Yep. Eh, I get it. You'll share custody. Paige will be better off, because that level of
Oh,
anger in
that
the
kind of
household
take,
is just
Paige is
not good
coming
for the
with me.
child.
No. With that kind of a take, Paige is coming with me. And there's not a judge in the world that'll fight me on that.
Honestly, I don't know if Nikki's even seen the Fantastic Four trailer yet, but I almost can guarantee she would have the exact same
Right?
reaction.
I thought it looked amazing. I am
I,
in.
yeah, same.
But like,
But
I got the giant Galactus helmet. That's all I needed.
yep.
Like, we're getting a comic accurate version of Galactus. So
Yep.
yay.
Although seemingly surprisingly small based on that silhouette, like compared to the size of the planet. But
That's still shockingly large.
oh yeah, don't get me wrong, and that's what she said.
And that's a good place to end it, Mike. At the end of the day, we both enjoyed the movie, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been very few, like the television shows, as you mentioned, Secret Invasion. Some of the television shows have been very, very blech, but I don't know that there's any movie that I've walked out of just being like, well, no, I can
Or
actually
Love
think
and
of two.
Thunder.
I was going to say Thor: Love and Thunder, and even to a certain extent, Ant-Man: Quantumania, because I hated that.
Oh, the Council of Kangs.
Well, the Council of Kangs was what it was, whatever. But I hated this whole thing about, like, during the final fight scene, you had this sense of they were trapped, and then
Yeah.
after they'd vanquished him, they're just like, okay, let's go home, and the portal opens back up. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know you could just do that. I thought you were stuck. Like, I thought there were some serious stakes here, and then it was just like portal ex machina. Like, that just pissed me off. I remember, like, most of the movie I thought was fine. I mean, the answer is what it is and whatnot. There's a couple things that were lame, but yeah, those two, and I think were those both Phase 5?
They were both Phase 5. But with Quantumania, like, this is supposed to be the worst version of Kang. This is Kang the freaking Conqueror. This is the guy that could wipe out half the universe, or
Right.
3/4 of the universe.
And he's
And he
beaten
was
by
taken
Ant-Man.
down by Ant-Man
Yeah, exactly.
and 70-year-old Michael Douglas.
Exactly.
So,
well, and the irony being they were in such a rush to introduce the character, and then of course everything falls apart, and now they have to, sort of.
I'm on. I want to see what they do with Doom. I'm looking forward to that. But we talk about the television shows. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just the Doom thing. I'm withholding judgment, but it's just like, I think I can see some interesting ways they could go bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, but it just smacks of desperation to me. But I trust the Russos. They've done some really, really cool stuff with MCU in the past, so I'm withholding judgment. But it's just, that's kind of where I'm at on that.
I was too. My head is going like, and this is fantasy casting, and we've had a show on that before, but
Yep.
Like, you have Cillian Murphy sitting right there.
Right.
Like, I've seen Peaky Blinders. He pulls off menacing. He's a good-looking guy who you could 100% buy having a scar on his face and thinking he's hideous. He's no shortage of arrogance in that man.
Yep.
Like, I look at that, go, I'm like, that right there, that's who I wanted. But I'm withholding judgment. It's Robert Downey Jr. I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt and hope it's going to be great.
No shortage of arrogance in the guy that played Oppenheimer. Are you sure about that?
But we talked about the television shows real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't come off as bleh on a lot of those.
No, there was only a handful.
I did not like. I obviously didn't like Secret Invasion. I didn't actually like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought that show was not good.
No, I agree with that.
But
loved Ms. Marvel. We've talked about that. We both love that one.
Ms. Marvel, WandaVision, Moon Knight,
Yep.
like Hawkeye. Freaking Hawkeye was.
I liked Hawkeye. Yeah. I have not actually, in the interest of full disclosure, I have not actually seen the Agatha Harkness show.
Agatha
I just haven't had time.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's freaking wonderful.
I've heard it's great. I haven't gotten around to it.
Great's a strong word. It's fun.
Yeah.
And even Echo. I liked Echo.
Actually didn't see that one either.
You probably don't need to, because I'm not sure with what happened. I don't think that character is going to be coming back anytime soon. But it's a violent little 5 or 6 episode series, and it was worth the watch. So
yeah.
But we skipped over this, Mike. Hold on, because we skipped over something important. There is something coming between Brave New World and Thunderbolts. Daredevil comes out March 3rd.
I was just about to ask if that was when Daredevil was coming out. Yeah.
March 3rd, March 9th, one of those two. But,
yeah. But I having watched the trailers for that, I mean, I was in already, but yeah. That one I'm actually going to have to find a way to set aside time for.
Every week I will. Every week, Leah and I will watch that, because that Netflix series to this day, if that's considered MCU, that's top tier MCU.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially that first season. I mean, I like the first 2 seasons.
Oh, I love the third season. I love the third season. I love the stuff with with Bullseye.
Yeah,
I thought that guy was great as Bullseye. I liked the development with Fisk. Did you see the third season?
I'm trying to. I thought I had, but I'm not sure that I did. Now that I'm thinking about it, shit, that feels bad. Yeah, I don't know if I did.
Season 2, I thought was kind of meh. Like the Punisher stuff was really cool, but the character with Daredevil didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, that's what I remember mostly is the Punisher stuff. Okay.
Season 3 is all Daredevil, and it's Daredevil and Bullseye going back and forth, and there's something that happens at the end of the third season. I'm not going to spoil it for you. That is just heartwarming as hell and heartbreaking as hell. So, but you know what? We're getting Foggy. We're getting Karen Page back.
Yep.
I'm in. Like, I'm 100% in. Although, how bad could they have messed it up? They just scrapped the entire show they wrote and did, and then go back and reshoot the entire season 1 all over again. Rewrite the entire damn thing and redo it.
Did they really? I don't think I heard about that.
They had, because the original run of Daredevil Boarding, it didn't have Foggy or Karen.
Wow.
And so they did it, and then it will never see the light of day, apparently. It was that bad. And they just started from scratch and said, screw it, we're going to do it all again. Run it back. Let's go.
Huh.
So, all right, Mike. I tried to wrap this up about 10 minutes ago, and I kept talking. So
yeah, no, you're good. I get it.
But you know what? It was a good movie. I hope everyone gets a chance to go out there and see it. Sound off in the Discord server if you liked it or you didn't. Make sure you tag it as a spoiler, though.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, really do try to. And I, as I've just been sitting here talking about all the MCU things that I missed or haven't watched yet, but the theater that I saw this in had maybe 15 people in it. It was not a theater the way you used to see crowds for an MCU movie. And I get that it's a February and it's a Valentine's weekend release and all that kind of stuff. But if we want to continue seeing content like this, not necessarily like this, just any kind of content that you like and you want to see more of, you actually have to you really do need to pony up and actually try and go out and spend some money seeing it, because if it's not making money, they're
Yeah.
gonna stop doing it.
Yeah,
So
we were about $70 deep on it this time because we bought concessions and the whole nine. And
yeah, I have the advantage that my wife is so far behind now that I'm just gonna have to start seeing them all on my own from here on.
My wife is not. She refused to watch Echo. She didn't care about Echo. She actually told me she didn't care about Daredevil either. But we're gonna get her back because we met Charlie Cox at a con, and that guy's charming as hell. So
Yep.
she'll get back for Daredevil. But everyone, we hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoy the banter. But we will see you in one of our many episodes on the main feeds this week. For the PT Network, I've been Chris.
I've been Mike.
Live long and prosper, y'all. Bye.
Wrong franchise.
I'm aware.